Hello, everyone, and welcome to our panel discussion with successful women entrepreneurs from Quinnipiac University. This is an event held in conjunction with Women Entrepreneurship Week, as well as the People's United Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship and the Center for Women in Business. So today we are pleased to have 4 women entrepreneurs from Quinnipiac University: Callie Perdue, Isabella Diaz, Dina Dupree, and McKenna Haas. So welcome to all my panelists. This panel discussion will be about 45 minutes of my asking questions to the panelists, and then there'll be time for Q&A at the end. And if you have questions while you're watching this, please submit your questions through the Q&A. Okay, so an important question maybe that a lot of you have, and I certainly have working with entrepreneurs and non-entrepreneurs is what motivated you to start your business? So Dina, do you want to talk about that?
So for my nail teak, my nail business idea, I got the passion and idea from an entrepreneurship class I took in my sophomore year, I believe. And from there, just the appreciation that I got from my peers and just the encouragement that I got from my professor, specifically Professor Dave Tomczyk. He definitely is someone that I'm still in contact with today. I actually have a class with him today later at 3:30. He's the best. Dave knows that I will definitely, he has to be mentioned for anything when it comes to my entrepreneurship journey, because he's definitely contributed a lot.
Thank you. And actually, I know that Callie is in Dave's class currently. So Callie, why don't you answer that question also? What motivated you to start a business and to take Dave's class?
Yeah, of course. So I'm from San Diego, and growing up in California, my parents were very environmentally conscious. We composted, we recycled, we got secondhand clothes really often and limited our plastic use. And I've always had like an immense interest and passion for fashion and for clothes. And ever since I can remember, I loved dressing up and just using fashion to showcase my creativity and self-expression. And then I learned about fast fashion in high school. And then from then on, I've kind of always been environmentally conscious and aware of where my clothes come from, which then I kind of acquired a love for thrifting and for secondhand clothing buying. And so that kind of just stemmed an idea for my app. I'm also a media communications major, so I've always kind of had an interest in social media and media usage. And then competing in the pitch comp launched an opportunity for me to take Dave's class as well.
Thank you. And actually is a very good transition into McKenna, because McKenna also has similar interests.
Hi, everybody. Yes, we were just talking about Tomczyk, and I still have his number too. Amazing professor. But the most honest answer to what motivated me to starting my business is that I'm stubborn and I don't like getting told what to do. But I think that stems from the fact that I'm a creative thinker, and when I get an idea, I like to roll with it and not be limited. So as a business owner, you get to roll with your ideas and you get the final say on everything, whether that's how your website looks, the products you launch, who you hire, pop-up locations, the hours you work, who you collaborate with. The list really goes on, but the better answer, like Callie was saying, a huge motivator of me and starting C of E is that I knew I could make a positive impact with my business plan. Not only are we ethically manufacturing activewear, but we also remove 1 pound of waste from our shorelines with every purchase. So this allowed me to align myself with non-for-profit organizations that are extremely important to me, as well as ocean cleanup partners.
Thank you. And Isabella, so what lessons have you learned about starting a business? And you can tell us a little about your business as well.
Going off of what McKenna said, she brought up a big point about when you do start a business, it's all on you. It's your ideas, your vision, your dream. And so a big lesson that I learned was trusting my gut, my intuition, and going with that idea and not letting outside perspectives impact my vision. although outside perspectives and opinions are important and they are valuable, at the end of the day, it is your project. So it's very important that you don't lose your voice. So that was definitely one of the most important lessons that I learned, is just really trusting my gut and knowing that what I'm doing for my business is right. And it's going to lead my business to go into the direction that I see it going. So that was definitely one of the biggest lessons.
Your gut never fails. That is such a good answer.
Thank you. And Isabella, you didn't tell us what your business is.
Yes. So my business is called Beiju by Bella. So it's a cosmetics company. And originally I started this idea because I wanted to create a lip gloss that fit all of my criteria. So it was very selfish. But then once I saw how big it could become, I really started thinking about how in the cosmetics industry, it's very tailored and targeted toward a specific audience. So it really lacks diversity and products that are useful for people of different backgrounds and different skin complexions and all of that stuff. So I really wanted to make sure that my business gave a voice for people who didn't fit into the stereotypical definition of what is beautiful and what is shown in beauty campaigns and beauty products. So I really wanted to make a diverse product that is fitting for any person who is interested in using makeup.
Thank you. So I'm hearing a theme, and that really you all started a business because of something that you're personally interested, right? Because, you know, usually we start businesses about something we care about. So I think that is a common theme. And also, I think I'm going to go off question, my pre-planned questions for a minute, but it seems to me that you all have a strong passion for entrepreneurship. And so I guess this ties to the next one, is how do you think we encourage more women to become entrepreneurs? I think, you know, if we look at our ratio of men to women entrepreneurs, even at Quinnipiac, there's more men than women, but women have really great ideas, as you all shown us. So how do you think we can encourage more women to be like you?
I think it's important to have resources like yourself, Professor, and also other professors like Dave Tomczyk, who are strengthening these communities and also expanding our networks with other women entrepreneurs. So we all might not have the same business idea, but now we all are connected with each other because we're Quinnipiac, either alumnus or students present. And now we can say, okay, you have this idea, I know who to recommend you to. So if we don't have the expertise in one business or one niche, then we definitely have been, you know, provided with the resources, and also professors in the School of Business who have definitely assisted with making our ideas come to life.
I can go off of that too. I think that's a really great answer, Dina. I think it's extremely important to align yourself with people that believe in you and support you in your vision. Also people within your industry. For me, for example, I have top-notch mentors from designers that have been in the fashion industry for years and years, sustainable strategists, successful business professionals. It's really important to go outside of your bubble and connect with a larger network. Yeah, it's just important to have people in your back pocket that support you. And that's basically what Dina said.
Okay, thanks. Definitely. So it really is about the network. And that's what we're trying to build at Quinnipiac, is to expand on our network so that we can link people who have similar interests, or even who have an interest in starting a business. We can link you to other people who think like you think and that know that things are possible. So that's one of the things that we attempt to do within the department, our entrepreneurship faculty, and also through the People's United Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. So please send more people our way. We're happy to help more students get their businesses started. So you mentioned Professor Tomczyk. Did you receive help from any other faculty or staff at Quinnipiac that helped you with your business? Callie.
So I'm actually in the class right now, creating digital businesses with him, and then also John Hood. And they've been huge mentors for me just because I am competing alone. And I've had this idea for a while now, but like not knowing everything and like what it encompasses. So they've been just huge mentors for me. And they're also like always willing to meet with me outside of class if I ever need help. And have given me some good, like honest advice that's been crucial to my success.
Thank you. Isabella?
So I had a different experience because my major is in psychology. So I didn't have like a traditional mentor in the business department kind of guiding me, but all of my MBA classes that I took last year really set up the foundation for what I would need to know as a person who is starting a business for the first time. So there were things that I had no idea that as a business owner, you would have to know at least what it would entail. So like things about marketing, even if I wasn't the person doing it, I had to understand the basis of it because marketing is a huge part about starting a business and getting the word out about what products you are providing and what it services and what type of customer you're trying to reach. So I think that all of my classes kind of played a role in helping me learn more about being a successful business owner.
Thank you. So it's good to know that entrepreneurship skills can also be learned, because some people feel that entrepreneurship is something that you just have to do. But we like to tell people that we can help you avoid those mistakes by taking some classes or working with somebody who's done this before. So McKenna, how about you? Who helped you with your business equity?
Yeah, definitely. I was actually an advertising integrated communications major. Entrepreneurship was my minor. And I'm so happy I chose it as my minor because I got to meet Dr. Jasinski, Professor Tomchek, and Professor Sanders, who have supported me from going to pitch competitions, kind of like what Callie was talking about, answering lots of startup questions, opening the door to their connections, and most importantly, once again, believing in me.
Thank you. And Dina, how about you?
Similarly to McKenna, Dr. Jasinski, when I first came into this School of Business, he just immediately showed so much passion for my ideas. And obviously you need to have your own passion for your own ideas, but when someone else has passion for you and is showing you that they believe in you, that is a different feeling. And I feel like I've had that specifically from Dr. Jasinski and Dave Tomchek, as well as Dr. McKinney. I had him in my, I believe, sophomore year, and they were just really vital professors. I enjoyed going to my entrepreneurship classes because they were my professors, like just the interactive and engaging conversations we had. And it was most of the time, like I'll be talking, leading in discussions, and it could be just me and one of them talking at the same time, because I felt like my ideas were important and my voice was important as well. And I really appreciate all three of them in my transition into the School of Business.
Well, that's great to hear. So I really appreciate the shout outs to our faculty. I know that they work really hard with our students to get them, to help them, refine their business ideas, to get them prepared for competitions. And I know many, many hours of mentoring happen behind the scenes with our faculty. So thank you for giving them a shout out. Okay. So let's make that transition to the pitch competition, because some of you have participated in at least one or are going to participate in one soon. So why don't you talk to us about your experiences with the pitch competition? Isabella, why don't you talk about that?
So I had a really great experience taking part of the pitch competition, because I got to actually meet these ladies that are on the panels with us through that. And just by watching them present taught me that I can make it to their level one day. So I remember, McKenna, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but I remember her presentation and just how she had everything ready. Any question that you could possibly want to know about her business, it's like you didn't even have to ask because her presentation covered it all. And so it really taught me that because these people are my age and they can do it, I can get my business to that point as well. And so I wasn't nervous being a part of the pitch competition. It was my first year, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But as soon as we had like the first level where you bring in the presentation, you present it to everyone, that's when I realized I was like, whoa, okay, I still have a little few more things that I need to work on. This is some things that I lacked in my presentation that I could bring next time. Or this is what I learned from this presenter. So Callie, her presentation, I still remember it to this day. She had almost like a mock-up of the app that you would actually use. And even though her idea wasn't something that is yet a thing, it made you feel like it was. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting how she did that. Maybe next time I can do something to really show my product. You know, I was only talking about it, but I didn't really bring that vision to that presentation. So for me, being a part of the pitch competition, it was more of a learning aspect. And like, I didn't really go into it thinking I'm going to win or anything like that, but I went in thinking, how can I learn from this experience? What can I get out of it? And if I decide to do it next time, what can I do better? And so, I mean, and Dina, I'm also going to mention you because her charisma with her presentation, her was so enjoyable. Her idea was just so refreshing. And just the way that she spoke about it too, I was like, okay, she has this passion for it. This is what I can add to my presentation as well. So I loved being a part of it. I wish that I went a little bit further, but I definitely understood why I didn't, because like I said, there was things that other presenters had that I knew I wasn't at that level yet, which motivated me to actually go back to my business and see the areas that I needed to adjust, fix, and look into more. And I mean, it was just overall great. I kind of like went on a little tangent, so I hope I answered the question fully, but yeah.
I appreciate your level of enthusiasm. So that's really great. So actually, I want to remind our audience that Quinnipiac University and the People's United Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship sponsor a pitch competition every April. We will be having this competition again this April 7th. And there are also, so all of you participated in that competition last year, and McKenna won second place. So congratulations. But I think it was also a learning experience for all of you, as Isabella just said. So I'd like to hear more about your experiences and also what you might do to encourage others who I meet entrepreneurship students who are just hesitant to put their ideas in front of people. So let's talk a little more about the pitch competition and what we can do to get more people out there. So talk about your experiences. Dina, you want to talk about yours?
So for the pitch competition, I participated in around 2 or 3 pitch competitions, which is not a lot, of course. I was also partnering with someone else during the time, and it was such a learning experience because I am sometimes overly independent with things. So I had to learn how to work with other people and strengthen my compatibility with others, because I can do it by myself and I'm fine. But you can't, as an entrepreneur, unfortunately, although you are your own boss, you cannot do things on your own for the whole journey. You do need some type of partnership or some type of connections for people that will enhance your brand and what you want to do with your business. So it was such a humbling experience, because now I feel like I am now pushing myself more outside of my comfort when it comes to just talking to people. And what is so important for people to know is that when you don't do anything, you're not going to know what the end result is. So just by starting to do pitch competitions, even if you're nervous, even if you have anxiety, it's really helpful to even just start, do something, because you don't want to say, you know what, when I was in college, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. I'm in my senior year right now, and there's a lot of stuff that I missed out on my past 3 years. And now I'm like, okay, there's an event coming up, I'm going to do it. If there's this, I'm going to do it, because I just want to be able to push myself I don't even know what my limits are right now. So I'm really excited. And I think that's really important for people to realize that they shouldn't place limits or boundaries on themselves, because the outside world is already going to do that.
That's really great. Thanks, Dina. And also, yes, I would say that we provide a pretty safe environment for you to do this. So we will work with you, we'll help prepare you, but also no one is judging you harshly. We're actually so supportive and enthusiastic that you are willing to put yourself out there. Callie, why don't you talk about your experience with the pitch competition?
Yeah, so like Dina said, I think it's so important to put yourself out there and to take hold of the opportunities that we have here at Quinnipiac. So my pitch comp experience was like overall just like an amazing experience. And I think, you know, if you're passionate about your business, competing in some type of pitch comp is essential. Competing in the pitch comp last spring launched a lot of opportunities for me. I actually like got a network with people in the entrepreneurship program because I am actually not an entrepreneurship minor or major. I also an internship with the People's United Center for Women in Business, and the pitch comp launched that because I was able to network and to meet people. And I think like for me going in, I was a sophomore, I was one of the younger ones, and I was so nervous, like so nervous competing, going through the rounds, but it's perfectly normal to be nervous. And I think the experience and the potential for opportunities is just too big to pass up.
Great, thank you. And McKenna.
Those are all great answers. I guess I think it's a great experience, whether you run with your business or not. Even if it's just an idea, I suggest doing it. You could get money out of it, so it's a great incentivization. My pitch actually, though, presently, I'm in communications to collaborate with Starboard Cruise Ship, SoulCycle, and Walmart. And the pitch is still based upon my QU pitch from that competition. Obviously, certain things have been adjusted to cater to the audience, but a lot of the bones to the presentation are the exact same. To add to that too, I would just say be your authentic self. A lot of people don't actually know this, but I was a part of the competition my freshman year, and this was when C of U was just an idea. I actually completely bombed my pitch. I prepared so hard to the point that I went blank on stage because I messed up one word. So I think I just spent too much time memorizing my pitch verbatim to the point that it was robotic. And judges don't want to see that. People don't want to see that. They want to see your passion and once again, your true authentic self, which led me to absolutely killing it the next time I did it. But the first year was awful. I went blank. So I just think you don't have to overthink it and just show up as your best self.
Thank you. And I'd like to build on what you said, because now that you've had this experience pitching, and you not only pitched in the Quinnipiac competitions, but you also pitched in a number of other competitions around the country while you were a Quinnipiac student. So tell us now about your new pitch to the companies that you just mentioned.
So I'm currently in communications with Starboard Cruise Ship, who they are the on cruise ship shopping experience. They partner with, it's actually a Louis Vuitton owned brand, but they partner with Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Carnival cruise ships. And I'm really excited because we're launching a collection with them in spring 2022 exclusively. But that was actually through being a part of the WeBank organization, Women Business Entrepreneurship Network Community. And I was part of a collegiate accelerator this summer. And I was given a mentor, Cindy Zimmerman. And she actually does the apparel for Disney as well as Universal Studios. And it was crazy. Just goes back to networking, actually. So how, I guess, how did this work? We did a series of pop-ups this summer in Florida, and this one lady, it was a customer, she's like, have you considered being in cruise ships? I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. The water, there's so much synergy to the ocean and cleanups. And anyways, I mentioned it to my mentor, and she's like, yeah, actually, I know one of the guys that's a part of Disney cruise ships because that's her network. And he just moved over to Starboard, and then she connected me to his team, and I pitched in front of 5 people. And just kind of like that QU pitch competition, I did my pitch and they were super interested, and liked what we do for the ocean, and that we're ethically made activewear. So that's just one example. Same kind of thing with SoulCycle, as well as Walmart. They all have sustainability initiatives and goals. So my pitch can kind of lean towards that, because that is my current business model. So long answer short.
No, that was a great answer. Sorry. So I thought I turned my phone off. That's big fail. No, thank you very much. And I wish you luck with getting on the cruise ship. So next time when it's finally ready for cruising, we can find your clothing there, because shopping is a big part of the cruise experience. If anyone's been on a cruise ship, people need to, there's a lot of spare time. So that would be a great experience. And it's so interesting to hear about how the network led you to that experience.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's actually through networking. I was connected with SoulCycle too, because when I was at Quinnipiac, I kind of had this cheesy launch party, and we happened to be on NBC News, and a lady named Sarah Miltenberger saw us on NBC News when she was on the treadmill working out at the gym. And she's the founder of a business called Make Climate Cool Again, as well as a podcast. And she had me on the podcast a couple weeks later. Anyway, she's been a huge supporter of the brand since day one. She pretty much owns everything from our collection, but she's now a sustainable strategist, and one of the companies she works with is SoulCycle. So that's kind of how I got the foot in the door there as well. So networking.
That is really excellent. Yeah, networking is hard, right? For anyone want to talk about how hard or easy networking has been for you? Dina, you said yes, it's hard. Why is it hard?
It's kind of embarrassing, because as a communications major and a business minor, you would think I should be good with public speaking, putting myself out there. And like I said, sometimes I gave the advice of, making the initiative to make those connections and networking, but it's just the actual step of opening your mouth and saying sometimes that you need help is what is the biggest struggle is for me sometimes. I had to get comfortable with asking people for help, because what the famous saying is, closed mouths don't get fed. So now I don't mind telling someone, you know what, this is what I'm struggling with. I need help with this. Do you recommend this? I have now become more comfortable with definitely reaching out to people and showing them my vulnerable sides that I would sometimes be afraid to show, because I'm like, you know what, I'm Supergirl, I can do this. On the outside, it looks like I'm handling a lot of things. It's easy for me to get connections or a network, but it's really difficult to expand your network, because what's also important is that you have to have in your network people who believe in you. So networking is not just getting your business out there and telling people about what you're doing, because if they don't believe in you, or if they don't have the same interest, then they're not a part of your network. They're just a connection that you know. But networking is what is so important, because those are the people who are going to broadcast and share with other people with similar interests what your brand is, and then that's what's ultimately going to expand your network.
Okay, that's great advice. And so I think that, yes, I think that's true, that maybe people who, I think all of us at some point, feel uncomfortable putting ourselves out there in front of people. I know that I, as an undergrad, had a very serious fear of talking in public, and now I'm a college professor. So I think that it's tough to put yourself and your ideas out there, but you will find supporters. And it's really important, I learned this in a recent entrepreneurship workshop, to create your own advisory council. So create a group of people who support you, but who will also keep on you to get moving forward. And that way, you have your own little network as you continue to expand into a bigger network. I see we have some questions from the Q&A, so I'm going to ask. So one question, how did you know your idea was valid or actually good idea worth pursuing? Who wants to answer that?
I guess you have to have the passion for whatever you want to turn into a business. It's not necessarily that something has to be completely out of the box. No one has done it before. just by you doing it, it's going to be different because no one thinks like you. No one goes into situations the way you do. No one is creative in the same way that you are. So I guess whatever you decide that you want to turn into a business, just have the passion for it, because working on something for long periods of time, if you don't have the passion for it, you'll give up quickly. I mean, I don't know if any of the other panelists can agree, but nothing when you're doing or starting a business will come as easy as you think it will, and it won't happen as fast as you think it will. I've been only working on my business for a little over a year, and I still have a long way to go. So I guess it's not necessarily if something is a good idea, but do you have the passion for whatever idea you're bringing into life? If the answer to that is yes, then that's how you know it will be valid. That's how you know you're going to make it, because that passion is what's going to drive you in those moments when you're tired. Everyone that you have reached out to isn't answering. Everything that you thought was going to go right isn't going right, or the ideas that you thought were going to turn into something aren't really turning the way that you thought it was. If that passion isn't in the back of your mind pushing you forward, then not much else will, especially when you're working on something for a long time. So definitely just have the passion for it, and then you'll be able to make it happen.
Thank you. And Callie, Professor Tomczyk does a lot of this validating. So I know that you're working on that right now, right?
Yeah, I am.
Survey.
Yeah. I was just gonna add like something. I think like when it comes to the strategic side of your business, I think I've learned that it's really important that you continue to evolve your business plan and to make it better, and to really find that one unique thing that makes your business stand out that other people don't have. And that's, the thing that's going to really make your business launch and be successful. Obviously, what Izzy said is like the passion is so important, and your business always needs to be fueled by passion. But when it comes to like the strategic side, making sure your business plan is like foolproof, and like you've thought of all these things and you're continuing to think about new ideas and new ways to improve it.
Thank you. McKenna, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, I think those are great answers. Just to go off of that, finding your unique selling proposition, as well as honestly that problem and finding that solution. And then hopefully you're passionate about whatever you're doing.
If not passionate, at least very stubborn and hardworking, right?
There you go. Yeah.
All right, Dina, how about you?
Definitely talking to the people within your circle first, and then expanding to people outside of your circle, because if it's nice if the people within your circle like your idea, they like your business, but they're not your direct market, and you want a bigger market at some point. So just thinking back to the nail business or idea that I came up with, I went to the nail salons on Whitney Avenue. Now, for those who are located in Hamden, they know Whitney Avenue. There are more than 20 nail salons near each other on Whitney Avenue. Why? I don't know, but there are enough. So if you have an idea, think about how many businesses exist, how many people are in that industry, and who you can talk to, because there are people who can validate your idea, and then also be prepared for the people who won't validate your idea. There will be people who are not interested in what you're trying to market or what kind of business you're interested in. And that's okay, because they don't represent the majority. They only represent a small population of people who are not your consumers.
Okay, excellent. So good point that you have to find the market that's right for you and for your idea. And it isn't everybody. No one business has a market that's everybody. It would be very hard to find one that is. And if it is, it's very unfocused. So I have another question from the Q&A. So I'm gonna go there. Okay, so this is from someone who works at QU. I have two questions for you. What are things that QU could do better to support women entrepreneurs? And are there any classes that you wish were offered that could have helped you grow faster or have more success? So those are really good questions. McKenna, would you like to start that one?
Sure, I can answer the first one.
Okay.
What QU could do better to support Women in Business? That's what it was.
Yes, with women entrepreneurs, yes.
Women Entrepreneurs. Okay. When I was on campus, I would have loved the opportunity, because when I was at university at QU, I actually had product and I was actually physically selling product online. I think it would have been amazing to have the opportunity to actually build more brand awareness as a student business owner, to be able to sell on campus. So I think that would be a really great opportunity for current students to be able to create a pop-up and sell on campus, whether that's an event or maybe it's a certain day of the week. I'm not sure how that would be structured and looked, but I would have really loved the opportunity to actually sell, so people could touch my product in person, and I could actually tell my story, because I really think that brand awareness would have spread a lot faster if I had that opportunity within the university network. And maybe that's something that needs to be grown at a larger level within not only women in business, but entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs. And maybe we could create a network with student entrepreneurs from other universities, and we could do pop-ups at other universities too. And it could be kind of like a circuit. But I think there's something there, and it could be done better to better support us.
That is great information for those of us looking to build the program further. One thing that I have found is that we do allow students to rent tables in the student center, just like those outside businesses who come in, and you can actually showcase your business and product there. So you may not have been aware of that at the time, or maybe, you know, the culture's changed.
So why, if we're students at the university, I personally think that space should be given to us for free. I think that would be a way better way to shine light on our entrepreneurs within the school and show your support as an organization. Quinnipiac being a business, right?
So good point. So I did not know that they were charging people, but certainly I will make sure that is not happening for student entrepreneurs in the future. So thank you very much for bringing that up. Okay, who else would like to answer the question of how we can support women entrepreneurs at Quinnipiac, or maybe entrepreneurs in general at Quinnipiac? Isabella.
I think that there's, for example, for me, I wasn't a business major. I was a psych major, and then I got into the MBA program. So that was how I found out about the pitch competition and all that stuff. So maybe if there's more of an outreach within the university, maybe even like a support group for people who are considering starting a business. I feel like if it is a woman, most likely it's going to be something that has to do with maybe industries that the business school doesn't really focus on. So like beauty industry, fashion industry, and stuff like that. It was a lot harder to find support for that industry than other industries. So maybe just providing a support group that can help students who are going into that area or that field would also be helpful in the future.
Thank you. So that's helpful. And yes, we've kind of identified our two most popular women and men businesses at Quinnipiac, so, or categories. And so for women, it's things related to fashion and beauty, and also food. And for men, it's cars and crypto and NFTs. So I think, you know, those are at least 4 categories but we support everyone. And so I hope that this webinar promotes the message that Quinnipiac is open for student business, and that now your businesses should come out of your dorm rooms, come out of your closets, come out and not be hidden, because I am working with the provost's office and the university as a whole to ensure that your businesses get recognition on campus. And I just want to tell you, McKenna, that we're a new university in terms of being able to showcase businesses. It's definitely not the old regime, and I hope that we will be seen as much more business friendly, because I know there were some problems in the past, but hopefully, you know, with the new systems in place, we have identified there is nothing in the student handbook that prevents a student from having a business on campus. The only provision is that you can't solicit in the dorms, and that's really just to not bother people where they live. But you can certainly have a business in your dorm room, and we want you to showcase your businesses. So I'm going to put in a plug, but we have Parents Weekend coming up on October 30th, and from 12 to 1, our student entrepreneurs of all types are welcome to come into SB 109, our innovation center, and showcase their businesses, showcase your products, have a poster, have a website, whatever you want to showcase, we will have that space available. And I hope that we can fill the room and show the outside world that we support entrepreneurs. I just wanted to put in a plug for McKenna. There's a display case next to Buckman Theater, which my assistant Hannah has worked with McKenna to create a display of McKenna's products in that. So I encourage you to stop by the display case outside of Buckman Theater and look at some of the great outfits that are there. I thought they were beautiful. I love the blue one. Continuing on. So Callie, what do you think that we can do to support women entrepreneurs? Or did I already ask you this question?
You didn't know.
I did. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they had great answers, and like, I completely agree. Like, I think it's like marketing to more students. Going off of like the class. So I'm currently in creating digital businesses, and honestly, like when I signed up for that class, I really didn't know like that it was like all that it encompassed and that we were like competing at the end. So I think some area for improvement would just to be able to better market to students the opportunities that we have when it comes to specific classes they can take. Because I know for a lot of the classmates in the class, like we didn't even know it was that's what it was. So kind of just really marketing it better to students to be like, hey, we have this opportunity, you should take hold of it. We have pitch comps, going into classes and really talking to these students and really giving them the encouragement that they can actually compete and they could win money, and that, it's really an achievable thing.
Thank you. That's good advice. Dina, I don't think we heard from you yet.
I feel like the only thing that I can add right now is maybe like a monthly event for student entrepreneurs to meet in like one room, and it can be like a pop-up shop where students just come and look at other students' businesses or products, because I know that there are personal conflicts with student schedules in terms of wanting to go to certain meetings or stuff like that, because I know that the Entrepreneurship Club is new on campus and I would love to go, but I know there's sometimes conflicts with my schedules. So I think, and because I know the demand can sometimes be tough with like weekly meetings or like weekly commitments. So I think if providing like a space or just like a event monthly, or even like one big event per year where it's like alumni students or like current QU business students who are creating products, and it's an opportunity for students to, walk by tables. So it could be like a tabling event, put shortly.
Okay, thank you. So those are really great ideas. And we're trying to do all of those kinds of things. So I guess it really is, I have to say, marketing is really hard. And those of you who've started business probably know this, marketing is really hard. And so that's really what I'm trying to do with the center, is to get the word out to students. But, there's a lot of means to do that. And so anytime students are interested in something, the center will have events, and we also will have working space. We're renovating the room, and in January it should be done, and we will have permanent working space for students to come and work on their businesses and talk to others. Okay, let's answer another question. Okay, so another question what are your long-term goals? That's a pretty big question, a big question. I'll start with McKenna, because I think you have some long-term goals in the works right now with getting your product at some very big retailers.
Definitely. I think a large goal of mine is to partner with a few large retailers while I'm still fully on with the business. Also a big goal of mine by getting there is removing over 1 million plastic bottles from our shorelines by 2025. And by doing that, it's not only through my online model, but it is through partnerships with other organizations like the cruise ship lines, SoulCycle, gyms, whomever comes out of the woodwork. Maybe somebody today is going to watch this and be like, hey, I can connect you. You never know, right?
That would be great. So we have lots of students at Quinnipiac interested in sustainability, and I also teach courses in that, how can we solve this plastics problem? How can we solve the problem of fast fashion and fashion waste? And so those are really good questions. I think Callie is working on the solution or a solution to fast fashion. And we have another student who just came to my attention that's looking at recycling, upcycling denim. So I think that there are really good opportunities to connect with organizations that do that. Many businesses also connect with nonprofits who help support them in what they do. So that can also be a good partner for you in your network. How about Isabella? You've graduated, and so what are your long-term goals?
Yeah, so my long-term goals is to have a successful first launch. So my first launch is only going to be one product, which is the lip gloss, and then eventually I want to get into more products, so go into foundations, eye products like eyeshadow and stuff like that. So I don't want to just stick with lip products, but I do want to diversify my business as well. But then in terms of partnerships, I do hope to get into the large retailers like Sephora, so that I'm not having to deal with the shipping out the products and all that stuff myself. So to have it in stores would be awesome. So Sephora, Ulta Beauty, any of those big beauty retailers would be great. And then hopefully the big dream is to be one of the products that is used during New York Fashion Week. So that was something that I was able to attend this past fall. So like a few months ago, not a few months ago, a few weeks ago. And I just loved it. I was in the back scenes of it. So I got to see how a lot of it was being run. And it just amazed me. I was like, I want my products to be used during this event. And so like, that's like the long-term goal or dream, but yeah.
Okay. Are you working with a manufacturer for your products? Are you at that stage yet?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much at like the final stages right now. To prepare for the launch, I'm working on my website and just the finishing touches. So shipping out products, what the boxes are going to look like, what cards are going to go in with the products, how that's going to work. But I do have a manufacturer in New Jersey who's producing the products for me. So that kind of took off a burden for me having to make the lip glosses at home. But then, yeah, so I'm like in the final stages of launching my business.
Excellent. So we wish you luck with that launch. So
Thank you.
hoping that we can have more showcases of our students' products on campus. So like McKenna suggested, we have her product showcased in Buckman Theater, but it would be really great to have students come back and be able to show their products and hopefully ultimately sell them at the same time. I can't, in public make any commitments for the university, but I feel very confident that we would reach that stage where we would have retail opportunities for students in some capacity, whether it is on or right off campus. We have a lot of properties along Whitney Ave, so that's also a possibility, but I would really love to be able to showcase and to help you sell, because we support what you do, and we want you to know that you can always come to us for help. Dina, do you have, hold on one sec. Let me just check to make sure there are questions.
Izzy, that's huge. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Super exciting.
That is excellent. So Dina, what are your long-term goals? Because you're about to graduate.
Yes, so it's funny because I feel like my brain is like trying to even focus on one thing right now. I feel like too much is going on in my mind. So it is hard for me to specifically focus on like one or two long-term goals. But broadly, I would say I definitely would love to be a serial entrepreneur. I have so many ideas, so many passions. And I think that for years to come, I can definitely have multiple businesses. I am passionate about customizing wine glasses, which is the current business I have called Sip Happens. And then I also interested in, I would love to at some point give back to my community. So hopefully when I'm successful in my businesses, I can be an angel investor and then work with other women entrepreneurs and other people within the community and definitely give them some advice and guide and serve as a mentor.
Thank you. And Kelly?
So my business is still like very much in like the startup phase, and I'm still like working on developing it. So just kind of like a big goal of mine is just to like launch, and also in the class we are like competing, and just to like do well in that competition and like kind of get my name out there and kind of increase my network in the industry and like make a difference. I'm really passionate about like sustainable and conscious methods and like environmental methods. So kind of just like improving my network and like in the future, you know, launching my business or just being able to like really work in that industry.
Great, thank you. So McKenna, in terms of your launch, because you have actually gotten to the stage of sales and so well underway, did you have to pitch to investors? Have you had to seek additional funding for your business?
So I was fortunate enough to be able to pitch to my mom to get my first startup funds to launch CAV. But having said that, I've had multiple investors interested in working with CAV, including Quinnipiac alumni. I'm just not at the stage yet to open that up. I'm still kind of at the stage of hustling it myself right now. And but I'm open to the opportunity still if the right person comes along to partner with. I feel like that, sorry, what was the question again?
It was about pitching to investors, but I think you've explained it. So you just had to convince your mom that you were a good investment.
I convinced my mom that I was a good investment. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to go to Quinnipiac for rugby. So I'm like, Mom, if you just help me launch this first collection of mine, then anyway, she has a percentage in the business now, so I think it's a win-win.
Definitely. Well, and the other myth is that most entrepreneurs need a fortune to start a business, and that's absolutely not true. You can start a business with $0. It's really your hard work. And also, I think as you point out, McKenna, like if you start getting investors in your business or you start getting venture capital and all that, suddenly you might lose control of the business. So other people are telling you how to run it. A good first place to start to seek money is friends and family. And actually, we had a speaker on campus a number of years ago, Damon John, who you know from Shark Tank and his FUBU clothing brand. When he decided to launch FUBU, he asked his mother, and he actually was making the products in her basement, and she refinanced the house, took out a second mortgage in order to support his business, and obviously grew big. So I think your mom has made a great investment, McKenna, and I think that your investment will pay off significantly for her.
No, my mom is definitely my biggest mentor, and she believes in me more than anybody. So I really appreciate her support.
That's really great. And I hope she's watching. Is she watching this?
I don't know. It's going to make me emotional now. I love my mom.
Well, shout out to McKenna's mom. Hopefully, you realize how big of an impact that you've made and how just having the right person can really help lead to somebody's support. So I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you. So yeah, Isabella, did you have to seek any outside investment?
Yeah, so I attempted it. I tried, but kind of like what McKenna said, I'm kind of just working. And then whatever money I make from my job, I just reinvest into my own business, which honestly, at the beginning stages, it makes me appreciate my business a lot more. And it has widen my skills, because whatever I need to do for my business, at first I'll try to do it myself. I'll see if I'm capable of it. And then if not, I'm like, okay, I need to hire someone for this. This is how much I need to save to do that. But if I'm able to do it myself, not only am I learning a new skill, but I'm also saving money, and it's going to be exactly the way I want it because I'm doing it myself. So that's kind of how I have been going about it right now. But I do know that if I want to expand my business and make it bigger, to the point where I want it to be, I know that I will need investors. So that is something that I'm considering for the future. But for right now, I'm just working and funding it myself.
Okay, great. And so one of the things that you can learn about entrepreneurship at Quinnipiac is how to fund your business should you get to the point where you need to seek external funding, because it's not just seeking venture capital. It could be seeking a small business loan. There are other grant and loan opportunities. Generally, banks don't like to invest in brand new businesses because they're risky, but they will invest in larger companies. So it's not necessary that you have to give up any ownership in your business to outside investors. I mean, some businesses do and some do not. But again, we can help lead you through that process of finding the right investment for your business. I'd also like to go back to the pitch competition prize money that you can get. There were many opportunities at Quinnipiac. So we have our April pitch competition again, April 7th. So those of you who are watching and are interested, come see me. Also, we have through the Entrepreneurship Foundation in the state of Connecticut, 2 pitch opportunities with the state in December and May. And that December opportunity is coming up. I believe the submissions are due in November or something like that. There's also an opportunity there for just small amounts of money, which might be just enough to get you a marketing design or to get you a logo or to get you something that you don't already have. Sometimes the prizes are access to legal services or, human resource skill building. So there's a lot of different opportunities that you can get through participating in pitches, but also some extra money that can help you launch your business as well. So keep that in mind. Well, that's all the questions that I have. Do any of our presenters have anything else they'd like to say?
That just brought me an idea, actually, just how you suggested like helping with logos. Another idea could be cool is collaborating with, for example, like the advertising classes or the videography classes with these small businesses that are being created at Quinnipiac to kind of cross promote each other and build up the brand to make it the best possible.
Excellent idea, McKenna. And we are just in the process of launching an internal resource. It's an internal database that matches students who have needs for their businesses with students who have skills for their business.
I love that. That's great.
This virtual platform will launch very shortly. And so it will be an opportunity to match students who might not otherwise find each other. So if you have skills and you'll negotiate with the individual who's providing the skill or resource for you, the amount that they want to charge, but it's an opportunity to put students together because we ultimately need a lot of support in creating businesses, as we've just learned today. And so the more resources we can provide. So great idea. And thank you. We are just implementing that. So I think I mind.
That's great. That's great.
Anything else? Well, I'd like to thank all of you for participating today. I know this took some time out of your schedules, and I think that you've been an inspiration to all women and other entrepreneurs at Quinnipiac. I am so proud that you are all Quinnipiac students or alumni, and so proud of the hard work and success that you are making with your businesses. I hope that you keep in touch, and if any of our viewers are interested in contacting you, please just send me a note to let me know if you would be happy to speak with them, and I can make those connections facilitated. And also now, hopefully you are connected with each other as well. So again, thank you so much for participating. It's been fantastic. I love you all.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you.